So, how has COVID-19 caused chaos with your businesses at home? What does that mean for your future travel plans? Thanks for joining us for another episode of Sailing the Recipe. I'm Colin, and this is my three girls and wife, Bex, and this is our floating home, The Recipe. Together we left home and embarked on a journey of a lifetime. After crossing oceans, we have recently been in lockdown in Antigua for the last 8 months. Tune in, hit that subscribe button and join us every Sunday to see where our recipe takes us next.
Colin Mcgourin is the Michelin-starred chef who's better known for his fish dishes than catching them. But after years of striving for success, he's decided to take time out from his restaurants. He's now 14 months into sailing round the globe with his family and pet dogs. He'll be homeschooling his 3 children for the next 3 years while documenting his adventures on the internet. Simon Spark has more.
Colin Mcgourin is our North Lincolnshire celebrity chef who, despite achieving so much, has found something missing.
I kind of imagine this kind of merry-go-round, that I'm just on this merry-go-round all the time, full of pressure, non-stop, very repetitive, and I'm just take some time out.
And so, leaving his restaurants in the hands of his head chef, he's decided to sail away from the lockdown with family and dogs.
What's wrong with you?
To the open seas and 3 years of worldly adventure.
Pubs and restaurants will still remain shut unless they can offer a takeaway service. Indoor entertainment venues like cinemas, which had previously been allowed to stay open,
So, can it get any worse? Well, I'm sure it can, but it's still devastating for us in the UK. It's coming up to Christmas, the busiest part of the financial year, if you like. Not just financial, but it's great for morale and things like that. So I'm just gutted for everyone back at Wintringham that we are now closed and we don't know when we're going to reopen. We don't know if we're going to be open after Christmas, because we're still going to get reviewed every 2 weeks from the Prime Minister's kind of government to decide whether we're in tier 3, tier 2, tier 1. So it could be January, which is such a shame, because all the hard work we put in after reopening from the last lockdown, all the housekeepers doing all their work, or getting the deep cleaning done, all the kitchen having their mise en place prepared and getting all the ingredients back in and getting the menu sorted out, having a rethink of that, getting the restaurant all ironed up and tablecloths all ready to go to welcome customers back in, getting the reservations team back on the phone, getting all these bookings in. We had an awful lot of bookings for December, which would have been just fantastic for us to have. This time of year, it's not just about financial, it's about family and spirit and Christmas time and happiness. And it's such a shame now that we all have to stay in our homes. So this time last year, we would have been picking vegetables, we'd have been decorating the restaurant with Christmas decorations, we'd be getting, would be kind of, getting the Christmas cakes ready and all this kind of Christmas stuff would have been done. But now I'm in Antigua, we're stuck here, I can't get back. Even if I did get back, I wouldn't allow to be able to mingle with my friends or family and actually see the guys from work. So what's the point in going home? As for our sailing, well, that's another conundrum that we just don't know what we're going to be doing. Will we be able to continue to sail? 2 things. 1, cost. If we all know that sailing is quite an expensive job, and I needed the income from the restaurants to fund my journey with the kids and family to get away and do this. And clearly, obviously, if the business is not making any money, I can't take any drawings or take any money to run it. And the second one is time. Can I actually continue to sail, or should I go back home, give all this up, go back to the guys and just continue what I did last time and make sure we just get the business back on its feet again, because I don't know how damaged the business will be when we are reopened. So this COVID thing could have scuppered financially, but also our sailing plans. We should have been towards Cuba, Bahamas, the USA. We should have had this wonderful experience of traveling around, certainly the Caribbean, with an income to kind of be able to afford to do that. But now everything's gone to a little bit, well, pear-shaped really. So it's all a bit of a worry.
COVID has messed my plans up for school by, well, just being COVID. All the exam centers in Florida or America were closed, so I couldn't do my exams, which I'm not too disappointed about. If my coursework's good enough, I can get good grades, and at the end I'd have to do an exam. If COVID wasn't here and my exams went all as planned, I would have done them in Florida in an exam center. We would have sailed to Florida, got in a taxi, gone to an exam center and done them.
I think with COVID we've had obviously our plan has gone completely to rack and ruin, and every time we've tried to make a new plan, then countries have closed. Even after hurricane season, we were like, oh, we're going to go down to the ABCs, and they closed. You know, we got as far north as the USVIs, and instead of heading on to mainland US, we decided to not do that for the sake of the health of the girls, because COVID started to get really bad in the US, and the riots that were going on, and we just thought that it wasn't really a good place to go. And we came back to Antigua, and compared to family and friends at home, how's my COVID been? I don't really have anything to complain about. I've been sitting in paradise. Am I starting to feel a little bit frustrated with how long we are here? Yes, I feel frustrated that we've not moved on, but I also think we've made the most of a great island. We've made some really good friends, met some brilliant people, got to know this island. We've gone strength to strength on the kite surfing. The girls are getting strength to strength on the scuba. We're not done as much sailing as we wanted to, perhaps, but we've also, I kind of feel like we've had a bit of a blessed COVID situation compared to home.
COVID's really affected our family and friends, because we were going to go home in the summer, but then we didn't end up going because of COVID. And then we were going to go home for Christmas, but our flights got cancelled because of COVID. So we don't really know when we'll be going home. But there are a few good things about not going home, because we've made some really good friends here in Antigua. We've got to know Antigua a lot better. We learned how to scuba dive. We are perfecting kite surfing, and yeah, it's like a second home.
Thanks for watching again, everyone. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We are back in the kitchen at the moment. If you wanted to see what we're cooking for Christmas, this should be something. We're in the Caribbean, we're doing something tropical. It's pineapple, peanut satay and roast pork belly. Have a go at this, it's absolutely delicious. This is a video I did for Siemens. Check it out. Hi, I'm Colin Mcgourin, chef patron of Wintering and Fields restaurant up in North Lincolnshire. I'm here today, Siemens Home Connect kitchen, demonstrating a beautiful roast pork belly dish, pineapple and satay. The first part of this recipe is obviously the pork belly, and what we're looking for is a fantastic crackling. Okay, so the crackling needs to be light and crisp, not heavy and dense that you're going to break your teeth on this. So the secret to do that is this. The first thing we have to do is score the skin, but not going straight through to the fat. We're scoring just the skin. Once I've scored the skin, I want to try and get some salt in there. What the salt's going to do is bring out the moisture, and that's the key part of this dish. So it looks like I'm putting a lot of salt on, but don't worry, because I'm going to be washing it off when all the moisture comes to the top. So we're going to leave that for about 20 minutes. Okay, so you can see just after 20 minutes how much liquid has come out of the pork, and that's exactly what we want. So the only thing next to do now is to brush off all that excess moisture with the salt. The final thing to do is we pour some oil over the top, rub the oil into the fat, which will again help blister the crackling. So I've got the pork salted, oiled, all ready to go in. I'm going to place this at 200 degrees for an hour and a half. Okay, so the next part about this recipe is the roasted pineapple. The pork belly's been in for just under an hour. Now we want to add the pineapple. We're going to be roasting it to intensify the sweetness. So while I'm preparing the pineapple, I'm going to set the oven to 180 degrees. Alexa, tell Home Connect oven to set to 180 degrees. So this pineapple is going to go in for the last 20 minutes. With the other half of the pineapple going to be the salsa, which give it a lovely kind of acidity to the dish. Okay, so now the pineapple is just going to go in for the last 20 minutes, 180 degrees. Okay, so on to the next component of this dish is the fresh pineapple. What we're going to do here is just simply dice the pineapple. Okay, so now for the coriander. The coriander is just going to be nicely shredded, and that's going to be tossed through the fresh pineapple. So that's the pineapple and coriander salsa. The next thing is the satay. So now we're going to finish everything up by making the satay. We're going to start with the oil in the pan. The pan's relatively hot, but not too hot, because we just want to saute the onions and garlic, so they go in next. So a couple of minutes of sauteing the onions and garlic. The next thing to go in will be the soy sauce, and that's going to slightly reduce also. Okay, the next thing we have smoked chili flakes, not too spicy, but a lovely smokiness and depth. Bind all that together. We're going to dissolve some of the brown sugar, and then we're going to add the peanut butter. And the peanut butter just adds that consistency that is all familiar with the satay. And now we're ready to add our coconut milk, and just add it bit by bit until you're happy with the texture. So now that's the satay done. Just transfer this into a bowl, ready for plating up when the pork's ready. Okay, so now for the exciting part, the carving of the pork. You can see now that the pork got lovely blistering to it. The sound of this crackling, just amazing. And I think this oven's done a really good job in creating such a fantastic crackling. What we want to do now is just cut a nice big wedge of pineapple. So now we've got all our components, we're ready to plate up. So there we have it. We have our roast pork belly with crackling, homemade satay, textures of pineapple. So thanks for watching.